Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'll be telling you more about how I've been feeling after my miscarriage and just things that have been going on. My son is playing right here next to me with like a little water table, so if you hear him and if you hear like water running, it's him playing. So to begin with things, I'm doing so much better than I was before. I'm feeling a lot more optimistic and I'm just trying to focus on the future. But to be honest, it's been extremely hard and it's going to be almost 2 weeks and a half since everything happened. Some may think that my grieving process has gone by so quick, but it's just what I have to do for my own sanity and for my family's well-being as well. So from the day that I found out about my miscarriage, all I could do was cry and cry and cry and cry. I would cry when I showered, I would cry when I brushed my teeth, I would cry whenever I would look at myself in the mirror and just see like my body being a certain way because I'm supposed to be pregnant but I'm not. Everything I did, I could not stop thinking about this baby all day long. It was consuming me and it was not good. I would have moments where my son would be either napping or I would be completely on my own and I would just start crying into a pillow or a blanket, just screaming so that he wouldn't hear me, so that I wouldn't wake him up. But I just felt like I needed those moments throughout the day to just let everything out, because I'm the type of person that I don't like to show my emotions. Like last video that I made was extremely hard, but I just couldn't let it in. I don't like to cry in front of my boyfriend. I don't think I've ever cried in front of my mom, like being an adult. And I don't know, it's just the way I am. I hold things in for when I'm on my own. So nighttime was extremely hard for me too. Leading into the evening, at 7 o'clock, I was already dreading it. I would tell my boyfriend I don't want to go to sleep. I was sleeping really late. Late for me is 1 a.m. because we put him to sleep at 8 o'clock. So 11:30, that's when we go to bed. But I wanted to sleep later. I wanted to stay up. I wanted to be hugged. I wanted to watch TV. I just wanted to be distracted. And I noticed that the TV would be on, but I would just not even be paying attention. I would be staring into space, thinking about my baby that I lost, thinking about what could have been. And it was just extremely difficult. I felt extremely numb to everything. I wasn't focused in anything. I would walk around to grab something and I would just forget. As soon as I would stand up, I would be what am I doing standing up? What am I looking for? So I was losing focus a lot. I couldn't concentrate on things. I'm doing online classes. I was doing a spin class and I dropped it. I had only gone 2 times. It was the beginning of the semester. But I dropped it. I just couldn't be there anymore. I didn't want to be there, even though I know exercise is good for you. But I just couldn't be there for myself. Sorry if the lighting is going in and out. It's just cloudy one moment and then sunny. But I was saying, I was extremely numb. I wasn't finding joy in anything. And I know it's been a short time, only 2.5 weeks, but the first week was the toughest for me. So when night times came, I would either go super late, at 11:30 to go shower, and I would just stand there and cry and cry and cry. My boyfriend would see me come out with puffy eyes and he would just give me a look and hug me, and I would cry. I would just lay down, turn around and cry until I would fall asleep. That happened for a few nights in a row, maybe 4 nights, 5. And in the morning I would wake up all puffy, not feeling good from crying all night long, but I just couldn't help it. It's just how I felt. Another thing that was going on is that I wasn't eating. I had no appetite. I just felt what's the point of me eating if I'm supposed to be pregnant? I'm supposed to be nourishing a baby in me right now. There's no point. That's just how I felt at that moment. And my mom was like, Carmen, you need to eat. You're looking pale. 2.5 weeks later, she's still telling me that I look pale. Everything is fine. I went to the doctor. All of my blood work is okay. So it's not there's something wrong with me. It's just that in the beginning, I just didn't want to eat at all. I wasn't eating all day. Maybe a tiny snack in the day, because my mind was just so consumed in like my miscarriage, what could have been, how many weeks would I have been. So another thing that I was doing a lot, and it was not good for me, was reading about miscarriages. So all I was doing was reading all these forums, all of these, like, I was trying to get into groups on Facebook, just trying to figure out like how could this had happened to me, and if anybody had a story that was like mine. And I did find a lot of stories, extremely sad stories, that I feel like are even worse than mine, because it's just tough what you have to go through when you have a miscarriage. But to my next point, I was just like consumed and thinking about like how did this happen. And I remember like a week before it happened, I was cleaning the tub, and I was like thinking like these chemicals cannot be good for my baby. So I wasn't there for long. I just cleaned really fast and left. There was a lot of ventilation going in because my windows were open, so air was coming in. So it wasn't like the smell of the chemicals was extremely potent, but it was there. Like I could smell it. It just came to my head like maybe I should leave and leave this alone for now. So I did, and I actually took a screenshot before my miscarriage of how chemicals are bad for your baby, and I sent it to my boyfriend. No, I didn't send it to my boyfriend. This is what brought up the conversation. So about a week and a half after the miscarriage, I was like, look babe, I took a screenshot of this like a week before this all happened. And he was like, babe, you just have to move on. We have to live our lives. We can't be just thinking about this constantly. And that just broke my heart. Like I completely shut down and like I held it together. But later that night, I was just crying and crying. Like, I could not believe that he had just told me that. Of course, I feel like I was being sensitive. But at the same time, like, I felt like he wasn't grieving like I was. Like, I couldn't stop crying. And I saw him, like, just living his life. But then later, like, I thought about it more. And I'm like, yes, he's completely true. Like, we have to keep on living our lives. We can't be just thinking about this 24/7. But at the same time, I felt like I needed that time to grieve. Come here, puppy, let me take this off. Say hi. I felt like, how dare you tell me this when I'm not, you should see him, he's like behind the camera, when I'm not ready to like move on. You can't be telling me this at this time. Like, I just wanted to grieve and grieve. Leave it alone, don't touch, mister. Like, I just wanted to have my time and be able to grieve and be outspoken about what I was feeling. And like later on that, well, the next day, I told him like, I'm really upset with you. Like, you hurt my feelings. I feel like I'm grieving one way and you may be doing it another, but I should be able to express myself and my concerns and just speak what I want to say at the moment, because I have like no one else to do it with. So that made me look into a miscarriage group on Facebook, and that helped me tremendously. I feel like if you had a miscarriage, I would totally recommend you doing that, because you will read stories of so many women that have gone through the same thing as you, and you can just feel like you're not alone in this. I feel like I had closure with that. Like, I was able to read stories and just see that I'm not alone, just see that my feelings have been validated. Like, I had moments where I would just post things and so many women would give me so much support and tell me, yes, I feel the same exact way. It's okay for you to feel the way you're feeling. It was just really helpful to me. When we hit about 2 weeks, I remember telling my boyfriend that I wasn't crying anymore, and he looked at me like, I understand, like, it's okay. Like, I just felt like I had to say, like, look, I'm feeling better. Like, I felt like I had to tell someone, because inside I was feeling guilty that I wasn't crying day and night. I wasn't grieving for my child. But he like helped me understand that it's okay, that we're moving on day by day, And I feel like this is how we have to take it. We have to take every day, one day at a time, and just cherish my son and cherish the moments we have with him, because we are lucky to have him. I know so many women out there that don't even have the chance to have a baby, and I'm so sorry.
Hi.
I know, honey.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
It's just really tough. So I had my miscarriage on a Saturday. No, I went to the hospital on a Saturday. I had my miscarriage on a Monday, and then by that Wednesday I had gone to the doctors for my follow-up. It was so painful. She went in there and she was like, okay, I have to check if your cervix is still open. That hurt me so much. I told her, please be gentle with me because I'm in a lot of pain, but you know, there's like not much she can do. Like, she has to check the cervix, and then I don't know what else she did, but it felt like she had like a clamp or whatever. I'm not quite sure, but she checked me down there, and then we did a ultrasound, and then she did the vaginal one, and we saw that there was still a few remainings in there. So she just told me to come back in a week, and she would check my HCG levels to see if everything was okay, if everything had passed. So I went a week later, and I had the worst experience I could ever think a person who had just had a miscarriage could have at a waiting room. So when I get there, the first thing I notice is that there's a mom and a really young girl sitting next to her. I sit down, and then maybe 5 minutes later, this older lady comes in and she sits with them. The girl is just like on her phone, not really paying attention, not really speaking, nothing. So the girl and the mom go in, and I'm still waiting there. I'm like 2 people behind her on the list, so of course I'm still waiting. And this lady that comes in and sits with them, she starts talking to, of course, a pregnant girl that sits next to me. She's not even a family member. I think she's a friend of the mom and the young girl that were sitting right next to us. She starts telling this pregnant girl how this girl's only 15 years old, that her baby is only 9 weeks old, which is the same amount of weeks that my baby was when I had the miscarriage. That her baby's only 9 weeks old, that her baby, like, it doesn't matter. She's like, that baby is just like a little thing. She needs to abort that thing. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even have a real heart. Like, she was so disgusting. And I was just holding back my tears and my anger because I'm not the type of person to be confrontational, but I felt like I should have been in this moment, or I should have asked to like be moved and go inside and sit somewhere else, because I just couldn't take her. She just kept saying like all of these disgusting things, how the girl like can't even take care of her own room, that her room is messy, she can't take care of herself, she's only a kid, which is true. She's only a kid, she's 15, but she's pregnant, and you know what? If it happens to you, you have to own up to it and just take responsibility. So she starts telling this girl that the mom wants to take care of it because it has a heartbeat, and she just dismisses that idea. She's like, she needs to abort that baby because it just doesn't matter. It doesn't have a real heartbeat. It's just a nothing in there. It's basically nothing. It's not like she's 3 or 4 months, and that literally like killed me inside. Right before I felt like I was about to burst, they call me in, thank God, and as soon as I'm walking in, I feel like I just want to cry after hearing all of those disgusting remarks I had just heard, but I held it together. And again, the doctor comes in. I had to pee in a cup to check for my pregnancy test. And it came back, like, I saw it. The girl was showing it to me. She's like, look, it still shows that you're positive, but of course, like, we know what happened. It's just that my hormones are still showing that I'm positive. So the doctor comes in, she checks my cervix again, and this time it shows that it's closed. But when she did the ultrasound, it still showed that my uterine lining, I think it's called, it was still a little thick, and I think it sheds when you have your first period. So she just told me to wait after I have my first period to start trying again, and she would call me the next day, which she did, to give me my HCG levels, and my levels were still at a 25. She was like, if you were to take a pregnancy test right now, it would show that you're pregnant. So maybe let's wait until you have your first period so that we can calculate the days exactly. Like, just in case you get pregnant, we can track the days properly, and then we can move on from there. But honestly, guys, like, we had, like, this might be TMI, but we had sex a couple nights ago, and it's 2.5 weeks after. And I already feel like I'm ready to try. I'm ready to move forward. I'm not forgetting this baby, but I'm just ready for a new beginning. Like, I really wanted a baby before my son turned 3. Like, even 2, like, I wanted them to be super close in age, but of course it's not gonna happen now. But I really want another one. I just want him to have a little buddy. I just want another little baby. Like, I really want this so much. Please, I would love it if you left your stories down below. And from now on, we're just going to be trying, I guess, to conceive. And we'll see how it goes from there. But I'm a bit scared because I don't know if it's too soon. Like, what if I get pregnant super fast before I even get my period, and it ends up being bad news again? Like, I'm really scared of going through this all over again. I'm terrified. But at the same time, I really want my rainbow baby, and it's just so hard. But yeah, this is like what's been going on with my life after I had the miscarriage and how I've been handling things. It's still like I'm working with myself day by day. Like, it's still hard. I started doing yoga again. I'm doing things to like distract my mind. I'm not going out as much as I should be outdoors, but the weather's just been terrible. It's been snowing, it's been raining. So I've been like, I feel like I've been locked in here. I've been out in the past 2.5 weeks, maybe 3-4 times. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for sitting down with me and listening to my story. Please leave some comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.